Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, the Volkswagen brand has announced deliveries for 2024, including the BEV sales. And they look like they are stalling or maybe even declining a bit in BEV sales, as even German premium brands like BMW are catching up to the Volkswagen brand in BEV sales. Volkswagen is clearly struggling to become the people's wagon in EVs and are shuffling their sales on a global scale to make it look like it's better than it is, but this will probably come crumbling down here in 2025 as someone like BYD will become a bigger brand this year than the Volkswagen brand. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So overall, the Volkswagen brand, not the group, this is just the brand we're talking about, sold 4.8 million vehicles in 2024, down 1.4%. So we should expect that someone like BYD will overtake them on a global scale in 2025. BYD sold 4.2 million units in 2024, but that was up 41% compared to 2023, where they only sold 3 million. And experts are expecting them to hit over 5 million this year. Deutsche Bank expect BYD Group to sell 5.52 million cars in 2025. So no matter what, there is very little chance that Volkswagen is going to grow in 2025. So I think it is very likely that BYD will become the world's best-selling car brand of any kind in 2025, just after Toyota, signaling what is coming. China is taking over in the automotive industry. So the Volkswagen company also noted that it has delivered around 500,000 units of the ID.3 since it was released in November 2019. 500,000 sales in approximately 5 years average about 100,000 a year. It is better than vast majority of EV models, but I have to say I did expect more from the model back in 2019 when Volkswagen revealed it to the world. This was supposed to be the true mass market EV from one of the biggest auto brands in the world. Volkswagen has since 2019, when the ID family was launched, sold 1.35 million units of the ID family. So, all of the Volkswagen brand's electric car cumulatively from 2019 to 2024, they have sold 1.35 million units. Tesla sold that in 1 year, back in 2022. So you might remember how Volkswagen said that they, as a group, would catch up to Tesla in 2018. Well, that clearly didn't happen. In 2023, the whole group sold 771,000 units, with their many brands and their many models. So not even half of what Tesla sold that year. Across all fully electric models, the Volkswagen brand reached 383,000 units in sales in 2024. So still more than most legacy automakers are doing, but that's still a very small fraction of what BYD and Tesla is doing. And then looking at this map here, it is pretty clear what Volkswagen is trying to do here and how they are keeping their sales up. For now, as you can see, both Europe and especially China, Volkswagen's most profitable market, are down, but in North and South America, they are up. So they are just moving as much as they can to the areas that are still mostly ICE cars and doing everything they can to sell as many ICE cars as they can to make up for the losses they see in especially China. But this will not last very long, as the Americas are also shifting to EVs, and someone like BYD and the other Chinese brands are coming for South America, Asia Pacific, and so on, because we can't just ignore this trend here. So while most of the legacy automakers are looking pretty steady and they have dropped over the last 4 years, China has become the dominating force in exporting cars, and they have only just begun. So right now, the old legacy automakers are just shuffling where they sell their cars to make it look like they are still doing great, only down 1.4%, right? Sure, but that will not last long, as they can't continue shuffling their sales globally, as the Chinese and Tesla are coming to the rest of the market as well, helping those markets to shift faster to BEVs, and we have seen just how slow Volkswagen has become in ramping up BEVs. Bloomberg thought just a few years ago that Volkswagen would sell 2.2 million BEVs in 2024 and have overtaken Tesla. But if the group is lucky, they will have sold about 800,000 units in 2024. But we are still waiting for those numbers. But for the first 9 months of the year, the Volkswagen Group was down 4.7% in BEV sales and had sold about 506,000 units. So they really needed a very good Q4 to get to 800,000 units and beat last year's numbers. But they could even fall short of last year's numbers of 771,000 units. And their sales in China will fall even faster going forward, as Volkswagen only have about 8% BEV share in their production. It is expected that China will hit about 70% BEVs in 2028. So in the next couple of years, the ramp of BEVs is going to intensify in China. And we have a pretty clear trend happening in China. This is not just speculatively here. You can see it on this chart of what exactly is happening in China with the German automakers. The share of EVs are going up, but the German automakers' shares are constantly declining. And Volkswagen can't keep up with the EV adoption in China, and the EVs they have, well, most of the Chinese people don't want because they're not high-tech enough and they're too expensive for what you get. Sure, the ID.3 has sold around 500,000 units since it's launched in 2019, so not bad, but the car was really supposed to be the car for the people. And the ID.3 was just perfect to become the car for the people here in Europe. A little nice hatchback. But there were of course all the software problem, but the thing that killed its success in my opinion was the price of the vehicle. It was way too expensive for what you got, and much more expensive than Volkswagen's own ICE models that was comparable to the ID.3. So Volkswagen own customers would probably look at it and would like to buy an EV, but seeing that it costs like $15,000 to $20,000 more than a comparable ICE model from Volkswagen would probably make them hesitate to buy the EV model. And again, it is not like 500,000 units is completely bad. That is better than most legacy automakers, but Tesla's Model 3, not their Model Y that we all know sells about 1.2 million units a year right now. No, their less popular model, the Model 3, sells around 500,000 units a year. Volkswagen ID.3, the People's Wagon, has done that cumulatively over 5 years. Tesla's Model 3 is much more a people's wagon than the ID.3. So, in that regard, Volkswagen has failed in my opinion. They are not able to come out with something that was affordable. So now they have a decent EV, but with a premium price tag. But comparing the legacy automakers to Tesla is going to make their BEV sales look weak. But are there any other indication that Volkswagen's BEV should be higher than they are? Well, another thing that is also kind of shows us that Volkswagen has stalled in their EV sales is that BMW will probably surpass the Volkswagen brand in EV sales in 2024. BMW's BEV sales in 2024 did grow 19% in the first 9 months of the year. We still don't have the full year numbers, but they sold about 294 units in the first 9 months, so I expect them to overtake the Volkswagen brands in BEV sales in 2024. If not, they're going to be absolutely neck and neck. And BMW is not the people's wagon. They only make premium cars. So if Volkswagen was having success with their BEVs, they should not be outsold by another German premium brand. So BMW is doing pretty well with their EV sales in 2024, especially comparing them to other premium brands in Germany like Mercedes. Mercedes-Benz Group BEV sales in 2024 was weaker than in 2023. And although Q4 was better sequentially, the company is in trouble as they are still only selling about 200,000 BEVs a year. So no improvements from them in 2024. But in my opinion, the Volkswagen brand is not really doing that well with BEVs, even though they are selling much more than someone like Ford and GM. But they are so far behind in this game, they are hardly in it. But even comparing them to BMW, they are not really having the momentum that a middle-class EV should. And comparing them to BYD, or even Tesla, they are still far behind. And I don't think we have many people left that believe that Volkswagen will actually overtake Tesla at any point, even though we should only go back a few years and we have many analysts that thought that would be the case. But Tesla is also down 1% in 2024. Yes, just as they have told us, that 2024 would be a year between two growth waves. We hoped they would get a little bit above last year's numbers, as Elon also told us they might have a chance of doing that, but they fell a bit short. But now they will come out with two new, more affordable models in 2025, so that should give Tesla a much bigger addressable market, so the demand should increase nicely in 2025, especially if they follow through on their version 13 supervised in Europe and China and unsupervised in the US. Then the demand is going to explode. Because remember, the new, more affordable models Tesla will come out with will probably be cheaper than Volkswagen's ID.3. But you will be able to get full self-driving version 13 unsupervised in that affordable car by the end of the year in the US for only $99 a month. That will be one hell of a deal, and something that Chinese people would also be very interested in, even if they only get full self-driving version 13 supervised. But for a very affordable EV that will be able to drive them pretty much anywhere, and all they have to do is just keep an eye on it, that would sell as hotcake in China and the rest of the world. So I do believe Tesla will see that 20 to 30% growth in 2025, but I don't expect Volkswagen to come out with anything that will make them grow in 2025 in total numbers, and I think they will continue their slow BEV sale growth in 2025, but increase quite a bit in Europe as they are going to have to keep up with their CO2 emission targets. So like I've said before, I think we will see the true colors of the legacy automakers in 2025, and that also goes for Volkswagen. They can't shuffle their sales much more, probably can't get much more out of the Americas with their ICE sales, and their China sales will continue to fall fast, so I expect them to drop in sales again in 2025. And because Tesla and BYD will likely grow significantly in 2025, so it will be very hard to say Volkswagen drop in sales in 2025 is because of dropping demand in EV sales. Well, their competitors will grow nicely, so it will be very clear for everyone to see that they are just stealing market share from Volkswagen. So my predictions for 2025 is that we will see more decline from Volkswagen in their total sales numbers, but they might get up to like 1 million BEV sales as they are forced to ramp up in the EU and China. But as they are losing China, their most profitable market, I think we will also see their profits take a hit in 2025. But let me know what you think. Do you think Volkswagen will grow in 2025? Will their BEV sales increase more than this? And do you think Tesla will go back to growing in 2025? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.